Hello and welcome back to the next episode of Meet the Pros. Today we're meeting with Michael Lagace. He's a journeyman electrician with 8 years of experience in the electric industry. He's worked in commercial, residential, and right now he's actually specializing in residential homes for electric work in the West Island and the Vaudreuil-Île-Perrot surrounding areas, of course. And he's here today to share with us the myths or the risks of having ungrounded wires in your home. It's something I come across often during building inspection with my clients. So Mike's going to help make sense of it all for us today. So Mike, thank you so much for joining us today. And please let us know, what does it mean if I have ungrounded wires in my home?
Thanks for having me, Paul. So what it means to have ungrounded wires or an ungrounded system in your house. The thing is that your house isn't going to burn down. That's not that's not the main thing that's going to happen. That's not what the inspector's trying to tell you when he's telling you that you have an ungrounded house. It is dangerous. It's definitely something you want to address, but there are fixes you can do, from expensive to cheaper. But it's all, once an electrician walks into a project like this, it's going to take some time, and it's going to definitely cost a little bit of money. What it means though is that, so there's no bare ground wire going to each and one of your receptacles, your plugs in your living room, family room, wherever they may be. What could happen is that if you start plugging in and you fill up every receptacle or plug in every one of those rooms, what will happen is that you'll have an overload situation. Your breakers at your panel, they protect you for overcurrent. So if there's too much current at one receptacle, the breaker will pop, and that's what keeps you safe. Overload is a whole other different beast. What it means is that if you keep plugging in your devices, well, then at one point the system becomes overloaded, and that's when you get into trouble. You could cause a fire. That way the wires will start getting really, really hot, and that's what can happen. Where in a grounded system, if you have overload, well, that bare ground will pick up on that, and then it'll be able to trip the breaker and stop any problems from arising, any fire. Other things with when you're ungrounded, it also means that, so you have a hot wire and a neutral wire. Your hot wire is your black wire, your neutral wire is your white wire. If that black wire somehow touches the side of the box or touches something metallic, well, that'll become energized, and it has nowhere to go. It has no path to ground to be able to stop. So that means that any person that's touching something that hot wire is touching will get electrocuted, and that's when you could come into serious issues. Is it the end of the world? Would I stop myself from buying a house that's ungrounded? No, there's things you can do for that. Expensive solutions would be to rewire the whole house. Everyone's heard that, I'm sure. Another solution, a little bit less expensive, is you find the first receptacle that starts every circuit, and you put what we call a GFCI receptacle. It's a ground fault circuit interrupter. Usually have these in bathrooms. It's whenever you're close to water that you have to have a plug like this, but they also work in an ungrounded system. You can put these plugs to replace your old plugs, and then therefore the house isn't grounded, but that plug is grounded, and the current or the electricity will stop flowing if there is an issue that arises.
Well, that's actually amazing. That's some great news to hear, because definitely a lot of people, when they hear about ungrounded systems, that obviously the concern is that they might cause injury to themselves or damage to the house. And definitely the best solution, of course, is rip out every wire and rewire so everything's grounded. But that's easier said than done, for sure. So that's a great solution with the GFI plug that we always see in those bathrooms with the reset, that black and red button. I didn't know that. That's a great solution that you can actually put that in to help make this whole system safer. So that's some great news, some great information, and super helpful. And definitely, of course, if you do find yourself in an ungrounded home, or you have questions, like definitely to have an electrician come in and look at your system just to give you a health check would probably be a great idea.
Definitely, definitely.
Perfect. Well, Mike, I appreciate you sharing this great information with everybody today. It's like super helpful. Thank you so very much. What I'm going to do is I'm going to attach all your contact information to this video. So if anybody has any questions about electricity, residential, they want a health check of their home, they can get in touch with you. You can walk them through it and guide them in the best direction to make sure that their system's working properly, safely, and efficiently.
Definitely. Yeah. Thank you very much, Paul.